since the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza was launched about 4 years back, a lot of customers have been waiting for a petrol variant. Well, finally, Maruti Suzuki has answered those requests by bringing in a petrol Brezza, and that's not it. The Vitara Brezza itself is now in an updated avatar. So what's new? Well, to start off with the design, you can see the front is quite new. Well, that's the part where you will see most of the changes. There's this wide chrome grille, and you have new headlamp cluster. Of course, there's this very good looking LED DRL which also doubles up as a side indicator. The fog lamp again design is new, and you have the central lower section which is all new, gives the front a more rugged and a much more premium look. But that's about it in terms of major changes. Well, of course, if you talk about the side, everything's the same except these really good looking new alloy wheels. These are 16-inch alloy wheels. Looks really good, gives the side a more dynamic look, and at the back you get new LED tail lamps. Again, they look premium, they look really nice when glowing in the dark, so that again ups the premium quotient for the Vitara Brezza, which is precisely what this design update does. The Vitara Brezza now looks more premium than the outgoing version, and well, not radically different, but more of an evolved design. Now, talking about the changes inside the cabin of the new Vitara Brezza, well, not much has changed. So in terms of space and layout, everything remains the same. So same space, same headroom, same legroom, nothing has changed in that respect. But of course, the major update is in the infotainment system. So you get the SMARTPLAY connectivity here, which means that now you can use apps such as AHA Radio on it, and you can also use a SMARTPLAY remote using your phone, wherein you can pair your phone with the system. You can control the audio system through your phone, and you can view vehicular data as well, such as fuel economy and service alerts. And beyond that, the seat cover has got this new pattern, so that's an update. You also get automatic headlamps, and you get automatic rain sensing wipers. But that's about it in terms of cabin changes. No segment first breakthroughs here, but again, overall an improvement from the earlier Brezza, although a mild one. Well, now it's time to talk about the big change, the powertrain, and specifically this new petrol engine. Now, what you get here is a 1.5 liter K-series engine. This is a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. You get a power output of 103 horsepower and about 138 Newton meters of torque. And in terms of real world performance, well, the engine is quite nice. You've got good low end grunt, and once you hit about 2500 RPM, well, that is the point from where you start getting a strong surge of acceleration. It's so good, in fact, you can really enjoy driving this car. And in terms of gearbox, what you get is an option of either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic. Now, the 5-speed manual is paired quite nicely to the engine. The ratios are nicely matched, and what that does is that it gives you the convenience of not having to frequently downshift when you are driving in stop-go traffic. So that's a really nice thing. Coming to the 4-speed automatic, well, as the name suggests, it is not really a very modern transmission. It's just 4 ratios, and if your requirement is predominantly urban commute, driving within the cities, and an occasional highway travel, the transmission will keep you more than happy. I don't see any reasons why someone would have complaints. But yes, if you're someone who really wants to enjoy the performance of this engine and someone who loves driving, well, then this automatic transmission is not the right choice for you. Beyond that, the other big change in this car is the addition of the mild hybrid system, which is similar to what we have been seeing in other Maruti cars such as the Ciaz and the Ertiga earlier. This means you get a start-stop system. There's also a small lithium-ion battery. What that does is the system captures the energy which is otherwise lost as heat from braking, it's captured and used again, and that results in lower fuel consumptions, enabling you to get higher fuel efficiency from your vehicle. So that's a good thing. There's also a slight reduction in emissions. So overall, yes, a good step. The only thing is that you get the system only with the automatic version. Of course, when you do, the other change in the instrument cluster is that there's a small readout which also tells you when the power is being sent from the engine, when the power is being delivered from the battery. So that's one addition. But one thing that I personally would have wanted to see is this system being made available in the manual variant as well. Hopefully, Maruti will do that sometime soon in the form of an update. And coming to ride and handling, well, nothing has changed. So in terms of chassis, in terms of suspension setup, no changes at all, and that means the ride and handling is pretty much the same, except the fact that the engine's a little lighter, so the front feels a little lighter. But that's not a bad thing if things haven't changed much, because to start with, the ride and handling characteristics of the Brezza were always good, and it still continues to drive well. Straight line stability is good, handling is good, the suspension is slightly set on the firmer side, and that helps stability. Ride quality even on broken surfaces is not bad at all, and yes, quite a comfortable vehicle to drive, and a much better with this new engine. So with all the pros and cons discussed about the updated Vitara Brezza, the big question that remains to be answered is, can it still maintain the kind of sales that the older version was doing? Now, the new Vitara Brezza is better than the earlier one in every respect, especially in terms of driving. It's much more refined, it's much more zippier, and the other things such as the cabin space, the ride and handling is the same as earlier, and that's not a bad thing because there was nothing wrong with it. So yes, it is a much more improved vehicle. And the big doubt that a lot of people have is that with no diesel, how will the sales be? Well, that shouldn't be much of a concern, because diesel overall for Maruti Suzuki accounts for less than 20% of their sales, and the world is moving towards petrol. So this vehicle is very much in sync with times, and that's the reason why, despite the new Vitara Brezza not being a revolutionary change and being an evolutionary change, it is a step in the right direction, and as far as we consider, it will continue to do a lot of good in terms of sales.